Ooh. Yo, welcome, karibu, welcome to Albo was Cinema. My name is Albert Nyakundi, and I'm beginning movie reviews. Anyway, some house cleaning first. I used to do a little, some videos along this line on a channel I formerly used to call Albo's Podcast, but things have changed since then. But I want to concentrate more on the Kenya film industry, Africa, and then to the world. But mainly because we really needed traction as Kenyan filmmakers. You know, people looking at our films, but at the same time, people talking about our films. If people aren't talking about our films, it means we are not reaching out to the people we want to. So I thought to myself, why not just start doing it? The films that I've enjoyed, some I haven't, but generally speaking, I think it's a good thing because we are trying also to create that culture that we do appreciate our films, or art in general. But, you know, I'm a filmmaker, so this is what I'm concentrating on more. This is about, you know, trying to spotlight, to highlight Kenyan film, first of all. But then I'll talk about film in general, and that is Africa and the world. There's a lot to be talked about, especially on the technical aspects, the business aspects, and also, of course, the creative aspects. So, as far as I'm concerned, this is just to start off. I know you'll hear some noises. I've been procrastinating for too long. I just said I'll just record it and start. Even if you hear some noise, that is part of the environment as I am right now, but the sound will be better as we go on. So, what is the first movie? I thought the first movie that I'll review is 40 Sticks. Now, 40 Sticks is a movie that was produced in 2020. And in 2020, there was kind of this buzz that there was going to be something happening in the film sector. But I think 40 Sticks is the biggest movie that year. It's on Netflix. So there's a number of things that we're going to be looking at. So for each film, we are going, of course, to look at the people that produced it, the main actors. We're going to be looking at the trailer. Then after that, we will try to go into the actual film and see whether it is worth people's time or it's just... Let's have a look at the synopsis of this film, all right? So it's very simple. When their prison bus crashes in a forest on a rainy night, a group of criminals find themselves battling wild animals and a mysterious killer. So as far as I'm concerned, that is as close to a description of the film as you'd get. It's really that. There isn't extra so much that you look forward to. There are a lot of things that were put in this film that I personally liked. For example, the fact that they're talking about moving. We've always had those Hollywood films where people are moving criminals from one institution to another. Then, of course, something happens in the middle. But this one, it wasn't something that is instigated by, let's say, the criminals themselves. There's something going underneath that I liked, that actually helped the ending of this film. The cast of this film, in my estimation, actors and all these people are the most important aspects of any film, the performances, and I think that's who fans care the most about. So I'm going to go through the cast. I know in my thinking, the cast did a great job, most of them. There was one or two that I didn't feel as such, but I'm going to explain that as we go along. So the main cast, well assembled. I liked some, I didn't like some, but generally speaking, well assembled. Robert Agengo, Mwaura Bilal, Andreo Kamau, Cajetan Boy, who incidentally is also a director, but this is the first time I've actually seen him act So it was a good surprise there. We have Arabron Nyyneque. This guy has a name. Arabron is the guy with the face. And then you have Shiviske Shiviski. She's also been around for a while. She's done some good work in film, I think also TV series. Then we have Xavier Ywaya. His people, their names. So it was I believe the movie was written by Voline Ogutu, and it's currently on Netflix. But then let's watch the trailer. All right, the trailer is, I think it's on the SensePLAY YouTube channel. Let's see. So we are going step by step. We start with the trailer. So here we go. So okay, how is that? All right.
For each of you.
Abs.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So as you can see there's so much. Like they had the support of Ogopa, Bingi Media and Film Studios. I believe also the Kenya Film Commission did sponsor their premiere. So anywho, so that's the trailer. As I think the trailer is fine. It will most likely get you to get a little bit interested in what is going on in the film. It was a bit of a departure from what we are used to seeing. A lot of these romantic comedy movies or just love stories or separation stories, when the people you're talking, it's always about some poor guy coming up, from the ghetto, from whatever, gangsterism, guns, pop. This wasn't as straightforward as that. At least it had more nuances. I particularly loved the ending of this film. I think it kind of brought, for the weaknesses that were there, it kind of compensated for that. So what did I like about the film? The fact that it's not just your usual, separation film. We like doing movies about the ghetto, somebody suffered, then they broke through and became something, right? Or in the ghetto, a lot of gangster business and they shoot each other, and then there's that. There was a lot more nuance to this particular script. So it wasn't just that kind of movie. At the same time, it's not just cops and robbers. You did a bad thing, the cops come after you. At the same time, in the end, I liked the ending. Of everything about the movie, I liked the ending. Cinematography, I'd give it half and half. In that there's some scenes I liked how they were shot, and there are scenes I simply didn't like how they were shot. Even how they were lit, especially the scenes in the vehicle, in the forest, like when they go and then they're in the forest in the vehicle. The lighting there I didn't particularly like it because it didn't offer me. There was no continuation that it's at night and it's in this prison van and the lighting was off and it felt like there was a light right there in their faces. My personal taste is I don't like that kind of lighting. I prefer lighting which has a more contrast in it. Lighting that is not so in your face, like lit directly to the face, which tends to create more shadows. I like playing the shadows and the lights parts, which gives it more interest. It looks more cinematic. Some of those scenes just didn't look good at all. Like the ones I'm showing you right now. So you should be able to see the difference where the ones I liked and I didn't like. But generally speaking, it was shot by Enos Solik. I think he did a decent job, and I hope, like, at least he should shoot more movies, because I've shot a movie with him before and it was fine. It has won tons and tons, dozens of awards worldwide. So he should shoot more, because it did feel a bit off to me. Some scenes were well shot, some scenes were not. So there was no consistency with that. And of course, there's some negatives, the things that I didn't like about the movie. The one thing that really stuck with me, and you're going to notice that, like they say in the synopsis, that they are being chased around by wild animals, they're in danger from wild animals and whatnot. But you don't get to see even one wild animal. My understanding, or at least what I expected, is that there'd be some aftermath with an animal looking like it's just killed someone or something like that, or in the process or something. There's so many different ways that you can achieve that cost effectively, but there just wasn't any animal. I expected to see at least a lion, because this movie is based around the main animal, I could say, is a lion, and I never get to see a lion, and that left an emptiness in the story to me. It felt like I did not go all the way to experience the actual danger. So there was more. It felt like they were forcing that this person has to be killed, this person has to be killed, but there wasn't the effort to show the hows in some places, or at least what is expected, especially the animals. Just using sound, for example, it will be effective to a point, but it doesn't eventually take you home in terms of that emotion of actually seeing a lion that's either just devoured a man, or it's on the process, or it's growling in your face. In fact, if you can check this clip out, I just pulled a green screen animal, like an animal shot on green screen, and you can actually composite this on your shot to make, even just because some of these like green screen animal shots are done specific to movies, and they are not expensive, and many have been done over the years that you can buy, that you can use in your movies to add that little in with a little planning, how the person is going to be, your camera angles and whatnot. You should be able to place an animal there that sells the idea more, because it felt empty without seeing an animal actually doing the devouring. That was the one thing that I felt this movie lacked. It was going for something very high, but then it missed that point, because maybe in production they didn't think through how they're going to pull off this. They should have, and they should at least tried. And I think it would have given, if they'd given us 5 extra seconds of an animal like what you just seen after, I think it would have driven that message home. And there were some of the happenings, especially around the danger that these criminals are experiencing in the vehicle that they are in. Some of those dangers felt contrived. They didn't feel real. They felt like this person, without really having to spoil the movie, it felt like this person has to die. So we are going to go with the old trick of Hollywood of go dark, come back, the person is dead. Go back, come back, the person is dead. But even how they are set up, it doesn't make sense how that happened without anyone feeling that whoever caused the death. It's kind of impossible. I don't care unless you're going with sci-fi or these magical things. But if it's what it is, there had to be some sense, because everybody seemed like their throat was being slit, like the same way they're being killed. And I think if they had given it how they kill the different people, if they had done it differently, without having to always wish that somebody had to be there to actually do it, whatever, a trap, a booby trap, things like that, and adding on to the animals, I think it would have made it more believable. I don't think it was believable how people kept on being taken out without necessarily to believe what was going on. So that is the one thing I personally I didn't feel that touched me. So yeah, but generally speaking, these films we are kind of starting. We are in the infancy of this film sector of ours, and we'll always make these mistakes in terms of plot, how to execute and whatnot, and especially we don't have the kind of resources that other more developed film sectors have. But for us to get there, we must be aware and also know that slowly we must start improving and also raising the stakes, investing more, which we currently, the only people really investing in our sector is the Kenya Film Commission. They have given a few grants for people to do films. That's something that I'm going to talk about next. There is a worry in my books that a chance did come up for us to get funds to produce Kenyan films, but there's things that are simply not working as they should, and I'm going to pick up an entire show for that. The next one I'm actually going to pick up on that before I do the next review. I expect that I will be dropping a review per week and one more video to discuss anything else I feel like. It could be in film or entertainment in general or life, whatever it is, but those are the main two programs per week. I don't think I'll be able to do more because of other commitments, but that is what I'm planning. And also to look at how basically there is a lot of work, there's a lot of projects that we are doing as a company. So those projects will be highlighted to you. Some of these you've known, you've seen. We're doing a lot of sci-fi, fantasy, animated content, which is growing, and there's a bigger goal for that I'm going to take you through. So I'm going to have special reports, so to speak, about the projects we are doing, movies, animation, series, all that, so that also you can have a behind the scenes, look at how we do these things, and hopefully it's of interest to you, your friends, and everybody else. So this is my first episode of this, so I hope with any little, if there's a lot of mistakes, maybe that's fine. It's going to improve once a week for the movies and other videos. So if you do have movies that I have missed, or at least that you'd like me to cover, you can drop them on the comment section. You can send me an inbox on Instagram, or you can send me an email so I can get it on YouTube. So all that, or Facebook or whatever.